Well, the box is getting full again, so time to clear out some topics too short for full episodes, but too specific for a triple play, aka 3 more events with no correlation to one another. Let's begin. Let's begin with the trial of Lizzie Borden. Born on July 19, 1860, to Sarah and Andrew Borden, Lizzie was raised a religious girl and woman. However, sadly, in 1963, Lizzie's mother died and her father remarried to Abby Gray, somebody Lizzie grew to dislike very much. Lizzie and her sister Emma had a very strained relationship with their parents, to say the least. This would in later years become more and more aggressive until the morning of August 4th, 1892, when Andrew and Abby were found brutally murdered. The investigation led them to believe that Lizzie Borden was the main suspect, as she had multiple contradictory alibis and statements, and an overall calm, descending attitude towards the entire ordeal despite the circumstance. Evidence began to pile up against her, and she was arrested on August 11th of that year. However, the trial ended, and Lizzie was acquitted of all charges despite the evidence against her. Did Lizzie murder her parents? Probably yes, but legally, no. And it's much disputed, even to this day, what exactly happened. But let's move on. Moving on, let's talk about parallel universes. And no, I'm not talking about Bernstein versus Bernstein. I'm talking about September 9th, 2009. This is when a James Richard claims to have fallen and knocked himself unconscious, only to come to in a place in a parallel universe. One that created portals, CDs never caught on, and the Beatles never broke up. His proof of this experience is a cassette tape he brought back containing apparently an album of songs the Beatles would have released if they never broke up. Whether it's just an elaborate project by James to trick the world, or something more unbelievable, it's certainly a unique idea, and going to the BeatlesNeverBrokeUp.com will yield an interesting result. But let's go on. Keeping up the not-so-normal theme, let's talk about Wilson Hall, room 428. First of all, Wilson Hall is probably haunted. From allegedly being in the center of a pentagram of cemeteries, to apparently being built on an Indian cemetery as well, there is many reasons it was featured on an episode of Scariest Places on Earth. Room 428 is probably the biggest highlight of this spookfest though, as rumors of student deaths run rampant. Depending on who you ask, from suicide to occult practice to more, all took place in this room. The room was eventually sealed off by the school board, who dubbed it uninhabitable for so many paranormal events were reported in the room, making room 428 the only permanently closed off room in any university ever. Pretty unnerving if you ask me. Anyway though, thanks for watching, and thanks for the overflowing support. Do you have a suggestion? They help a ton, and I'm currently organizing all the topics suggested, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again, and have a good night.